Hello my dears, my name is Mariana and welcome to my channel. We have a naughty Pandora behind us. She has been acting up today, so we'll see how this goes. Today we're doing some book recommendations and I know everybody loves that. So today we're going to go through the 5 top Jungian tarot books there are out there. And no, there's not a lot out there. So really this is just the compilation of the good ones, the best ones, the ones that you should be reading. There's also the sound of a dying unicorn out in my hallway because someone is doing some, I don't know, pipe work? Who knows what it is? Anyway, hopefully it's not so distracting and your heart's not breaking like mine. If you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. If you haven't yet followed me on Instagram, go do that. And a reminder that the Jung for Witches seminar series is happening so soon. It is going to be amazing. If you are a Jungian witch, if you are a psycho-spiritual seeker, this is for you. We are going to dive into so many dense Jungian concepts in a way that you can finally really wrap your mind around and learn how to bring those concepts into your witchcraft, into your spirituality in a way that is meaningful and approachable. That's key. We are going to be talking about everything from parapsychology to tarot to astrology to divination to synchronicity, feminist spirituality, the collective unconscious, just so many things. If all of this stuff gets you excited and you really love to dig into it, you need to come. Go ahead, check out the link in the description. If you cannot attend live, do not worry. It is streaming. It is always available to watch on your time. Go check it out now. Do not miss it. I will see you there. So let's just jump into it. Let's just get to the first book. So I want to put a little disclaimer. A bunch of these books have been republished. They have second editions, and so the titles might be a little bit changed, but they're basically the same book. So the very first one is the Jungian classic, Jung and Tarot, An Archetypal Journey by Sallie Nichols. This is the classic because it really goes deep into each of the major arcana. And that is where the archetypal heart of the Jungian approach to the tarot lives. Each card gets its own entire chapter, and Sallie Nichols really manages to talk about the tarot in a way that is actually approachable, understandable. It doesn't feel too dense, it doesn't feel too overwhelmingly mystical, but still really gets exciting. It still dives into some mythological perspectives and archetypal perspectives that are very much based in Jungian psychology, but also adaptable into your tarot practice. I will say this book has taken me a little while to read. It is a little bit on the longer side. I think it's around 400 pages or so, but it is definitely the best one for really diving into the major arcana world through Jungian concepts, through archetypes. It doesn't necessarily take the most mystical angle, but it's solid. This is a must read, go get it. The second book on my list is a whopper, and that is Tarot and Individuation by Irene. This book does a lot of things at once. Each card gets its own section, diving into Kabbalistic themes, alchemical themes, psychological themes, archetypal themes, just it's a lot of stuff on each card, and it's a really kind of profound way when you're reading. It's a good reference to stop, say, I just pulled the world, what could this possibly mean? And get a bunch of different perspectives on how to interpret the card through these different mystical pathways. There's also a lot of spreads in the back. There's some astrological correspondences. It has a lot in it. You can see she's thick. There's a lot. So this is not the kind of book that you're gonna sit down and you're gonna read in a sitting. It's gonna take you a while. It has taken me a while. There's illustrations, there's supplemental kind of visuals to help you go through it. And it really is very grounded in Cabala, which helps a lot because a lot of people like to take a look at how Cabala and tarot work together. There are so many overlaps in them. And so Irene does a really good job of breaking that down while also incorporating the Jungian elements into it. So it's really good, it's really deep, but it's a heavy duty one. So the next one is probably the most approachable of the set, and this one is Tarot as a Way of Life, the Jungian approach to the cards. And this is by Hamaker-Zondag, and I have no idea if that's how you say it, and I really hope it is. This book is the most accessible, it's the thinnest, it's something you can totally read over a couple days. It's not that intense. And this one's more like the traditional tarot books that we see, where it goes card by card and really dives into 2 or 3 paragraphs on each card. And it's a reference guide, essentially. But what's great about this book is that it includes the minor arcana, which a lot of books that go deep into the archetypal language of the cards overlooks. The author really takes time to look at the traditional meanings of the cards through this Jungian lens. So you get a paragraph for each card taking the traditional meaning, but then deepening it a little bit into the Jungian framework. There's a little numerology in there, there's a little bit of divination around imagery. There's some really special things that happen in this book that are totally adaptable, really easy to read, and a very, very useful resource that I think you need on your bookshelf. The next book I don't have a physical copy of, which is very frustrating to me. I will tell you the saga, why not? Let's get into it. I ordered this book on Thrift Books. I loved Thrift Books. I have their rewards program, so I get free books all the time because I buy an absurd amount of books. It's really bad. Don't tell my husband. He doesn't watch these videos anyway, so he'll never know. So I was really looking for this book. I was looking for it to come by a certain date because I was giving a seminar and I really wanted to use this one as a resource. I had only kind of peripherally read it in other places, excerpts of it and stuff. And so I found it on Thrift Books and it was gonna come in time and I was so excited and I ordered it and I got 50 mini desserts. And so that was not correct. So I emailed Thrift Books and I said, oh no, you've sent me the wrong book. And they said, so sorry, we'll send you another. And they sent me 50 mini desserts. I don't know why they have so many copies of that stupid, extremely bad book on mini dessert recipes. I never made any of the mini desserts. I actually just gave away the books, left them in the hallway of my apartment building, and someone took them. Someone's making some, mini peanut butter cups out there. Whatever. I did not get this book, so I still don't have it because I was so frustrated at the time. I was convinced this book isn't real, it doesn't exist in the world, and I never reordered it. But I read a lot about this book and I know how good it's supposed to be, so I'm going to talk about it even though I don't have it yet. And this book is Discovering Yourself Through the Tarot, A Jungian Guide to Archetypes and Personality by Rose Gwain. Now this book, what it does a little bit differently, and this is why I want it so much, is that it actually takes into account the ideas of Jungian typology. Now we love Jungian typology, that's where we get the Myers-Briggs systems, that's how you know you're an INFJ, and yeah, I know you're an INFJ because we all are. So it really dives into the 4 functions: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition, which of course correspond to the suits of the tarot: swords, cups, pentacles, and wands. Wayne really dives into that side of it and then helps you kind of identify your own personal typology, your Myers-Briggs typology, with a court card, which is really cool and something that a lot of people have different opinions on, and I'm just really excited to get my own hands on that book and find out how to work with the court cards and really find your typology through that Jungian lens. Seems like it's great, seems like it really takes a very awesome Jungian angle that not a lot of people do, so I recommend it even though I haven't read it yet, and maybe we'll get it together. Who knows what she's seeing? So I have one final book, and it's really a collection of books for you, and these are based off the Jungian Tarot deck by Robert Wang. I love the Jungian Tarot deck, it's great. It's a little bit frustrating because the pip cards do not have pictorial elements, they are just 3 wands, 4 swords, etc. But the major arcana really kind of encapsulate that Jungian interpretation. So it's a really great deck. I really enjoy reading with that deck. But Robert Wang actually wrote 3 accompanying books to go with that deck. And so I've been asked before, people have reached out before and asked me which one they should get if they're only to get one. That's a bit of a tricky thing to choose, but what I would say is that they're each very short. They're actually not like these huge deep dives, 700-page books. They are only really introductory texts into the Jungian mode of thinking, so they accompany the deck really well, but they're not going to bring you all the way into the depths of it. If you really, really want to go deep, I recommend those other books that we talked about, the Nichols book, Gad's book. Those are great. But the 3 books that Robert Wang has are Perfect Tarot Divination, Tarot Psychology, and the Jungian Tarot and its Archetypal Imagery. So I would say the least important of these is the Perfect Tarot Divination. This is really looking at divinatory meanings for the cards, and Robert Wang has a very specific system that I don't understand at all. I've tried, I don't get it. I'll give you a glimpse. So the Ten of Cups is pain and sorrow. I don't know. Why? Anyway, I'm sure there is a reason, and maybe there's someone out there who knows exactly what it is. It's not me, but it does offer divinatory meanings of the cards, which are very cool, but not necessarily particularly useful for Jungian theory. Tarot psychology, on the other hand, really works as the guidebook that goes along with the deck and goes through each of the cards and kind of takes that more psychological perspective to what the meaning of the card is. It's not necessarily life-changing. It's not going to open up all of the Jungian things you've never understood before. It's short. It's only like 120 pages or so. So it's really just kind of giving a few sentences, maybe a paragraph on each card and how we can look at this in a Jungian psychological way. So I would say probably the deepest book of them all is the Jungian Tarot and its archetypal imagery. This one goes a lot deeper into the major arcana. And so with each of the major arcana cards, it takes a lot of different perspectives and looks at how we can understand it as an archetype in the Jungian framework. The chapters are a little bit longer, about 10 pages each, and there's a really good introduction I actually very much like. And so I think that if you're going to get the Jungian tarot deck, which I recommend, I would get this one with it, unless you're like me and you hate when we leave out the minor arcana because there's the most of the cards. It's a bit crazy to me. But if you really want the complete kind of perspective, I would get the tarot psychology and the archetypal imagery books. They're solid. They're really good introductory text. So if you want to have a visual reference with the book, that's what I recommend. Where you going? Okay, bye. She hates it when I touch her lately, which is extremely annoying because all I ever want to do is squish her. But she's not a very squishable cat. She's a calico, and apparently calicos are very fussy. So that was a good choice. So those are the 5 Jungian tarot books that I think you need on your shelf and I think that are the go-to books out there. And I hope you get one or all of them. I have almost all of them. If you like these books, let me know. If you've read one of them, tell me about it. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram and check out the Jung for Witches seminar series. Go attend the seminar. It's going to be so, so incredible, and I will see you there. So that's all I have for you today, my friends. Have a beautiful, meaningful day. This cat brought me a real live mouse the other day, and I live in Astoria in New York City, and that's not a thing that happens very often, and I screamed. I full out screamed. That was real.